I'm Josh.
I'm Allison.
And we're for Josh at the Movies.
Whoa, you're Josh, and the thing is called Josh at the Movies?
It is.
And you're
Yes.
the Josh?
I'm the Josh.
That is awesome. We get the best of the best. We get the titular person.
I try.
Relate a lot to my character in the film.
I just wanted to start first by saying really quickly that we both love the movie. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I literally had no clue what was going to happen next. So for each of you, what was your favorite twist, or like the thing that caught you most by surprise when you were working on the film?
So is it okay to spoil the movie in this interview?
Yeah, we usually, like, for our interviews, we have like pretty in-depth spoilers are okay.
Okay.
Well, are you gonna go?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm thinking about my favorite twist.
Okay. I mean, when I read the script, I mean, first off, I was like, oh, this is great. This is really exciting. This is good. And then the twist happens where Thomas dies. And I was like, I'm so checked out of this. I don't want to read the rest of this. Like, this is so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm not doing this film. But I was like, fine, I'll keep going. I kept going. And then I got to the final twist, obviously, where that wasn't actually the case. That he hadn't killed himself. And my mind was blown. And I was just like, I can't actually believe, because I feel like I've read so many scripts, like just as some sure can relate, like you just read so many scripts over the years.
So many scripts, so many projects just coming on your table.
No, not like that. Not like that. Like, will you
offer after offer?
No, like, will you audition for this? 2-line part, please. But I feel like you get to know the structure of film, as I'm sure you guys do as well. Being cinephiles, you get to know the structure of film. You feel like you know where something's going. That it feels very rare to be surprised by something, and that just completely blew my mind. I never saw it coming in a million years. So I was like, well, I have to do it now.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agreed to do the movie like after like 40 pages, and because it was amazing, and I thought it was great and dynamic and awesome. And then I got to the point where Thomas dies after I agreed to do the movie. I didn't know that he died. I was like, what? And then I got to the end, and I equally was as shocked and thrilled and surprised.
Did you call your agent and be like, look, I'm not in the whole film?
I was like, I literally was like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
Is it too late to back out?
I was like, oh damn. But then again, I was like so taken by Michael's writing and his story. So I was like, I knew I had to do it.
It's okay, you're still central on the poster.
Yeah, of course. He's the main dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Justice, the role of Thomas could not be more of a polar opposite from Chester in Generation. What made the concept of this erotic thriller so appealing as your next film role?
How'd you like my show, by the way? Generation, how'd you like it?
I thought it was unwatchable. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Unwatchable because it would look so impressive.
Yeah, right.
Just for my ego, I couldn't look. Yeah.
I totally forgot the question. What was it?
What made this concept so appealing as your next film role? I guess, did you film this after Generation or before?
I filmed this, I don't know. I filmed this before. Oh, I filmed the pilot of Generation, and then I filmed this, and then I went and shot the rest of the season of Generation. I just thought it was interesting that my career was taking this like sex turn, because there was like all this sex was just on my offer after offer after offer. No, like it was. I thought it was beautiful. Oh God, I can't speak English. I thought it was cool because I was like in the YA space for the longest time, and Generation is like a bridge between like YA and something a little more adult, and then I got this role, and I was, again, it's like a little more adult, and so I was like happy to see that I was going to be able to work past 24 and do roles that are my own age. But there was just like such a different spin on sexuality. We examine sexuality in Generation from like an adolescent perspective, and also like how sexuality informs a relationship, whereas this film examines kind of like the shadow side of sexuality, like the no, I don't want to say perverted side of sexuality, but I do want to say perverted side of sexuality. It's more over.
It is a perverted
Yeah,
side,
it's
but
yeah, but I don't
Which
want
is
to. I don't
kind
want
of
to
okay
put
sometimes.
bad
Yeah.
connotations on that because
Sure.
Yeah.
people do what they need to do, and if it's consensual, that's great.
Mm.
But I just like that it explored a more darker aspect of that world.
Yeah, that's a good answer, and I'm still holding out hope for Generation season 2. Just saying.
Me too. You go
yeah.
write letters.
Me three, man.
Watch it. I love the way.
So does me. We're promoting this movie, but I'm not gonna watch Generation. Guys, watch Generation.
Yeah.
I love the way this film kind of sexualizes voyeurism in a weird way. What was the vibe like on set with so many elevated scenes of sexual tension?
Could you repeat the question,
The
sorry?
vibe on set with so many scenes of elevated sexual tension. Listen, so there was a lot of scenes that Sydney and I shot of reacting to the neighbors where Ben and Natasha had shot their stuff previously and we weren't reacting to anything. But there were a few shots that we actually watched Ben and Natasha do what they do. And the reaction that Michael got from us watching the actual thing versus watching the fake thing was so different because when you see like there's something that happens to you when you see something so intimate and private. Obviously it's choreographed and like, you know, those kind of stuff. But when you're watching naked people have sex, simulated sex in this case, you're like, oh, whoa, like I don't know if I should watch this. Like you have a visceral reaction. You know, that's different. It's also based on your maturity level, and mine is just really low.
No, I think it's very human though, isn't it? Stuff that we actually.
Yeah, it's visceral, and then the day wraps, and you're like, nice work, Ben, good job.
Yeah, right. This is the most time Justice and I have ever spent on camera.
I literally
together.
was just thinking,
yeah.
I was like, we don't.
Yeah. It's good to meet you.
Oh,
Man.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah. I think that's all the time we have. So yeah, a toast to wonderful, terrible decisions, and have a good day, guys.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.
I'm Josh,
I'm Allison.
and we're for Josh at the Movies. What a unique and singular vision. This movie, we both loved it. The topic of moral responsibility when it comes to cheating pops up several times throughout the Voyeurs. Do you think if you observe the act and have full knowledge of the situation that you should intervene?
Ooh, well, that's the question we're hoping the movie asks. We're hoping that this is kind of like an indecent proposal situation where, you know, back then it was like, would you sleep with Robert Redford for $1 million? Would you sleep with Robert Redford for $1 million? No, who's Robert Redford? Oh, amazing. I am old. Butch Cassidy from the Sundance Kid. Anyways, this is a conversation for later.
I have some homework to do,
Yes,
apparently.
So this is like one of those steamy moral dilemmas where you have to go like, what would you do? And so the question you're asking us is the question we're actually asking the audience. And so I think for me, it's I don't want to give an answer because I think that would spoil the heated debate that hopefully happens from this movie after it's over.
Everyone will go into it with our responses.
Okay. Well, this one's for Sydney. Did you study anything about optometry to get more educated about the role? And what was it like filling the shoes of such a complicated and ultimately flawed character like Pippa?
So I'm very squeamish when it comes to anything doctor related, eye related. I tried to watch videos, read books. I was like, ooh, maybe I'll enroll myself in some doctorate school.
Sid almost passed out when we shot these scenes. Literally, the outtakes, we would be putting, there's this thing that keeps an eye propped open, right? And Sid, like, you could see, we were rolling and Sid like went off in the corner. She was like, oh my God.
I had to put eye drops in the eye and I could not look.
It was great. It was so great.
It was not, yeah.
But she's such a talented actor that you didn't even know that.
You didn't know.
Yeah.
I tried my hardest to be okay with it. The studying didn't go too far, but I knew the gist of it because I had to work the machine and do the eye exam. So I wanted to understand how that worked, which was really fascinating. And what was your second question? I'm so sorry.
What was it like filling the shoes of such a complicated and ultimately flawed character like Pippa was?
I mean, it was definitely complex because Pippa is a complex and diverse character with many flaws, with many thought processes, with a lot of internal dilemmas that's going on that sometimes she doesn't particularly say. But I feel like that's all juicy to me, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
The erotic thrillers of the 90s are practically lost and forgotten to most modern audiences today, with, I don't know, maybe the closest equivalent being something like 50 Shades Darker or something, which is obviously not, we'll leave that. But what drew you into revamping this neglected subgenre, and what interested you in it?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's one of those genres that just somehow evaporated. And I'd made some short films before. One of them was called XX, another one called Pink Grapefruit, that explored the idea of using sex as story, where the narrative was being moved along, or the more character was being revealed, or there was a sense of tension happening within those scenes. Because oftentimes when you see them in a movie, you could cut them out and the movie would still work, or it's quite chaste. And so these short films played Sundance, and when they screened, you could feel the temperature rise in the audience. And trying to figure out how to take what I sort of did with those short films and bring it to a broader canvas, it was around that time I discovered this art of erotic thrillers. And I figured if I could just sort of do my thing that I did on these like $2,000 short films, I could potentially bring that sensitivity to a genre that had gone away and redefine it for a modern audience.
I love it. I think that's it's great to see something like that in a modern context, because it's not really seen a lot. But I think we're out of time, so thank you guys so much for chatting with us.
Yeah,
Of course,
thank
thank you.